Hello, welcome. It's been a while. It's been, I think, about a month plus since I've done my last video. Um, Hello, everyone. It is good to be back. Um, it's taken some time. There's been a lot of journey. So, first video from Durango, from the Magic Land, and coming back to the States as well. So, that is was quite a journey. So it is. I'm happy to be back, um, and getting rooted in Durango for the time. So that will be a story probably for another time. As this one, feel like what wants to come through is kind of a masculine collective send off, if you will say that. My sense of it is that the masculine collective is we are going through kind of the needle's eye point. Like, this is the start, and it's going to get more intense, and it's going to be quite the ride. And I'm quite excited, to be honest, me personally. There is quite a bit of excitement in the field, along with some nervousness, I would say, some anxiousness in the field. I can definitely feel that kind of energy. Um, and it's okay though, because it's like it's bringing up so much into the depths of everything. So, my sense is that the masculine collective is going into this needle eye point. So, the initiation has started. Like, we've already known that, right? But this is like the real true send off. My sense is that the true masculine presence hasn't really come in sustainably into the physical world, um, yet. And this is the process in doing that, the beginning stages of it, of welcoming it back in, of bringing it home, of integrating it and knowing it and embracing it. And it's going to be an intense ride, is my sense. And intense, maybe not the right word, but here's how I see the two streams. So you have the feminine and then you have the masculine, right? So the feminine initiation, from what I have seen and what I've learned from my internal feminine and some beautiful friends, like Danielle, has been that it took a long time. So, like, and it was drawn out, right? It's not that the masculine is more intense. It's like they're both really intense and they're both have, like, there's not one above the other. But the masculine system is like it's condensed down into this spring loaded little charge. It's like you're holding a lightning bolt between your fingers. It's almost like that much energy. So if you imagine like a bullet, like all that kinetic energy is just right there in this little tiny thing. And it just takes the firing pin to kind of set it all off. That's my sense, and it feels like it's begun. And there is a ton of support. Like, the amount of beings and energies that showed up in the field, and the collective energies to help with this and to kind of usher off this real next stage, this springboard effect. I was quite surprised. I didn't expect anybody really to show up in that way, but this is what's coming in. And there's a lot of things connecting in. And it's really, really fascinating. I have no idea where it's going to take this, because it's like my sense is that, so from my own experience, looking at the masculine energy, bridging it into the physical, it's kind of like it's being rewired at every turn. And so it's the pursuer force as well. So I'm can feel my energy being directed kind of like in a certain way and a certain point. And no, there's no real kind of like safety net or anything like that. It is literally just being pointed in a specific way, and then you are following that way. And there are things that are coming up. Like there's so much purging actually occurring in a very short amount of time, and it's burning off. A lot is burning off, but it's also this amazing amount of compassion if you can tap into it. So you can ignore it, but there is an amazing amount of compassion from um, the feminine, from I've experienced from Mary, which I'm not religious, but she came in full force, and that was really, really relaxing. For Mother Earth, I mean, there has been talk about some real compassion for the masculine um, from my system. That's what I've experienced, and that's kind of what I've experienced kind of going forward, is that as you walk this way, because my so in the masculine system you have all these things that are within it that have been done in the past that are still being held within it, right? So letting that go is not even letting it go, having that being burnt off as you kind of like step in into full force. And not even stepping in, it's kind of like you're leading away, and you're just kind of like on one end you're following the breadcrumbs, right? Because you're just your energy is being directed in a certain way, and then you are listening and following. So it's no more I'm going to trudge ahead. That doesn't work anymore. You have to listen, and then you get kind of pointed, and then you walk that way, and every step is guided. It's a different way of doing things, but like it is very fascinating to see it and have it being built within. That energy is being pointed that way, and then you have all this stuff that is like being drudged up from the surface. So it is collective energies, it is planetary energies, it is overlay, it is the way our system, our entire framework is built. There are roots within the masculine collective because it's been built on the back of the masculine collective and perpetrated through that energy as well. Like the enslavement, a good chunk of the enslavement of everybody is through that kind of masculine energy. And that's okay. Like you can look at it, and even all the wars and all these self-betrayals as well, the hard work, the willing to self-sacrifice in order for a cause or something else, like that's not the way anymore. But those patterns are still within, and to feel those and to have them come up and to feel like you're almost not able to live in that kind of like heaven and love are like always present, and to match that. So to feel like you don't know where to go in the garden, like how do you do that? Because you've been a warrior for so long, you have that energy, you have those things running within your system, and to let them go. And this is the point where I feel like it's not about you, and it's not about what you carry. Like, and it's almost like if someone was doing this, I feel like it's not even really important to get the specifics of it. It's more about knowing that you're loved, and knowing that you did exactly what you're supposed to. And the things you carried, you were supposed to carry them. And there's a huge level of compassion. And it's okay. You can let them go, and you can lay them down, and you can let them get burned off. It's okay, because there's more of you. There's more of you yet to come in. That's my feeling. And it's very exciting, especially for the masculine collective, because this feeling is like, who are you if all that gets burned away? Because it's a lot. I mean, you can think of through history. I mean, even pull 500 years, and that's just 500 years. And whatever portion is running through your system, like that's still a lot of weight, and that still can manipulate and corrupt the system a little bit. And that's okay. There's a bigger thing going on. But to have that burned away, who's your identity? Who are you? And it's almost like your true essence now has room to actually spread its wings. The distance between the two, between your heart and soul and your true self and your higher self, we can put all kinds of names on it, and who you kind of your physical representation, like the distance between the two, the walk. I've experienced this, like especially for the masculine, for a man, or just being in your masculine energy, like that walk can be very, very long, and the distance between the two can feel incredibly alienating. Not saying it doesn't happen to feminines. I've seen it. It definitely does. It happens to everybody. Um, my only experience, um, through my initiation in kind of a counterpart kind of space, was that when I witnessed the feminine energy, it was way more rooted. It was way more kind of like of the earth. And my energy to meet her, to walk that distance, was exhausting. I was willing to do it, don't get me wrong, until everything kind of fell apart, which is how these things happen divinely. But that distance was so big. And this kind of feels like a point where it's a merge within yourself, right? This is a point for the masculine collective. And that charge, that build up, it feels so lightning to me. It feels so much of the lightning of the sky. And I bring up lightning so much because it's like it feels so masculine to me, but it's also kind of like that breath of life. Like if you're dead, what do? They shock you, right? With a defibrillator. That's how it comes to me. But this is so much energy that's coming in that it hasn't been around in so long. And this is the time. This is the time where it's coming in again. Like, and you can see, like, the more it kind of comes in and the more things are kind of like burned off, the more distability that you see everywhere, because it's like it's literally holding things in place, right? Because it's built from within that framework. I remember when Osiris came to me, it was like that story and him were showing me what happened to the masculine, the true masculine energy, right? Because it was destroyed, cut up, disbarred, scattered. And then I think what happened, what I've seen, is that it becomes infected, and then your dead body of that true masculine energy then becomes the perpetrator of a lot of atrocities, which is okay. This is not a place to kind of look at that and point the finger. Because I can tell you from my own story, I've definitely done that. 100%. There's definitely been some past lives where I can see that. 100% running within my system. Um, and you can look at it and say, okay, this had to happen for a reason. There's a reason for the dark. Otherwise, it wouldn't exist. So you got to look for it and actually appreciate it and thank it, because there's a gift there, even when you're the one doing it. And then self accountability. But when you have these, it's like you get to retrieve, and it's not even a retrieval, and it's not a renewal. It's a breath of something new. That's what's exciting, because it's something new. It's something that hasn't been seen before, right? Because the masculine template, the true masculine template coming in, It's not like you get the old pieces that were crumbled and destroyed and sew them back together and then have a Frankenstein monster, right? And like charge it back to life. No, 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 no. You let go of what needs to be let go. The old templates, the old patterns, even the true ones. If they need to be let go, you let source guide you. But this is like this is the true untapped, and whatever is true and pure can never be touched, can never be destroyed. So mending that into the physical is such a breath because it's actually the true representation of you. Like you don't need to run anymore. Like you can hold it all and you can let go of it all. And the amount of stability that can happen just by doing that is very fascinating. But you don't need to do anything. Like it's your presence that actually wins the war. But you don't fight. It's a beautiful thing to watch. Because I think you can get caught up in that warrior aspect. I think it's very important to welcome that warrior aspect home, especially in this embodiment process. Because so often do I see like the warrior cast out to be like the dog in the outside, like with no place to go. And that is it's a sacred energy. It needs to come home. And but when it's like welcomed into the garden, it's just like, what's my purpose? I don't understand. There's nothing for me to do here. And there is. It's your presence. The warrior can hold the frame, can hold it, can maintain that presence, that direction, that strict sight to source with love, and hold that doorway open. And that's quote unquote how you win the war. But it's like you're not fighting at all. It's an amazing feeling to kind of feel it all kind of like sink into place, because you have all these aspects that then actually become into harmony and can synchronize and to can set and be at peace. That's the big thing. And be at peace. Whew. Yeah, I kind of knew this was coming in, and I got a huge charge when I kind of finally dropped in and said, okay, like I'll do this message. So with that, I am incredibly thankful. It is so good to feel everybody here. Whoever listens to this, you have my love and my smile. Yeah. And yeah, my hug. Because this is a beautiful thing. This is always a co-creation. So this one really, really wanted to come through, and I'm excited to see what comes through the next couple of days. As far as for me, what's going on with me? I guess I'll give it a little bit. So I moved from Montana. I'm now in Durango. I landed on a magical piece of land. It is very, very unique. That's a story for another time. But if anybody wants to come to a magical piece of land that is very conscious, you are very welcome. Just hit me in an email, and if you're in Durango area, I would happily show it to you and walk with you if you feel guided. So, but I wound up here. It's got horses. It's a big ranch. It's got horses, and I'm kind of out in the boonies all by my just in a little developed house. So it's quite amazing. And then yeah, we listen and we follow. And then returning from Guatemala and Belize and Mexico City, that was amazing and very connected here, which I was surprised and not surprised at the same time. So there was a lot of things that were, same story, same thing. So the Mayan collapse, the time frame with the land up here is almost exact to when this land was abandoned, so, or buried. So that is very fascinating. So I have permission to share messages if it wants to share any. So there might be some of those, which I am very excited about. Um, there's going to be some more offers on my Calendly. There's some more, I guess, activations that happened within, some more offers, some more services that came through on some very special volcanoes and then some very special waters that um, guided me through that. So that's going to be rolling out here soon. And then the website is finally getting some steam, some momentum. So that's going to be probably going to be up here soon. So I would say, I mean, I don't like to put a time frame on it, but I'm gunning for at least the end of April. So that I'm going to be very excited about. So yes. So if you feel guided, I mean, I have my sessions opened. I am I offer one-on-ones. There's the 30-minute guided ones. The one that will be rolling out here probably this week will be the feminine activation. So that one would be where the masculine energy, and I would be the conduit, would hold the feminine activation. So if you feel like you want to be a little bit brighter, or you just feel like that hasn't tapped over, and that little council, that circle of masculine energy to hold you, to brighten you, would be like I think it's a 45-minute or 30-minute kind of like, we'll sit, we'll let the energy come in, and then it's more about you just brightening and having full encouragement, but also acknowledgement and real true support in that from the masculine energy, because that's really important, especially since in my experience when feminines shine, masculines tend to try to dart their eyes. So this is more of just like, no, 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 be as bright as you are. So that one's coming up. I'll be offering that when I get told. And then this other one is going to be the masculine initiation. So I had a couple of very big experiences that I feel like I need to start offering. So that's like getting rooted in the planet and why it's such a big deal and why it's so heavy. So that will be coming online, and that is going to be probably a little bit later. I can feel it's a little bit distant, but that's in the works. So both of them are sitting in my Calendly. I just need to activate them when they get called. So it is so good to see you all. Please, your comments are amazing. I really, really appreciate them. If anybody who listens to this and everybody who is guided, I welcome you with love. Thank you. And Spirit Point, here we go. Have a good one.